It's a tough case, and it was an emotional day in court. I'm Jessa Brycebeck. A Milwaukee man will spend more than 25 years in prison for a horrific attack on a woman 3 years ago.
In September of 2020, 36-year-old E. Lee was killed after she was beaten and raped by a group of teenagers in Washington Park. The suspects didn't know the victim. CBS 58's Jenna Wells sat in on the heart-wrenching hearing today as one of those attackers was given his fate.
This is one of the most brutal crimes that I have seen in the last 20 years on the bench. Maybe it is the most brutal crime.
Judge Glenn Yamahiro expressing disgust at the nature of the crimes committed against 36-year-old E. Lee. 19-year-old Kamari Lewis was sentenced Friday to 26 years in prison and 19 years of extended supervision.
It wasn't enough to rape her. You had to beat the hell out of her at the same time and leave her to die. What could be worse?
On September 16, 2020, Lee was laying on a blanket in Washington Park when a group of teenagers started harassing her. Lewis and his co-defendant, Kevin Spencer, violently beat and sexually assaulted her before hiding her body in nearby brush.
They had no regard for her life whatsoever at all.
Lee suffered brain bleeding, broken bones, and severe internal injuries from sexual assault. She died 3 days later in the hospital.
I want justice. I want justice for my younger sister.
Her sister appeared virtually during Lewis's sentencing hearing, aided by a Hmong interpreter.
And her life was taken away from her.
Prosecutor Sarah Hill spoke to Lewis's lack of empathy and honesty during the investigation, asking for a substantial prison sentence.
This unconscionable and depraved violence is someone who's out of control.
The judge noted Lewis's lack of education and his upbringing. Several of his family members were in the courtroom, a support system the judge said is uncommon for many criminals.
There was a basis here to expect a little bit more out of you. Not raping and killing somebody isn't a particularly high bar.
Before receiving his sentence, Lewis apologized to Lee's family and to his own.
I am truly ashamed of my actions and the very poor choices I chose.
Lewis's co-defendant, 17-year-old Kevin Spencer, will appear for his sentencing hearing on August 3rd. In Milwaukee, Jenna Wells, CBS 58 News.